whose fantasy league are you in? Like what? Like the second gentleman? Is there a White House fantasy league or something? This is
a reveal.
Okay.
This is breaking news.
Okay,
there is a White House fantasy football league.
Okay.
We just had our second year. But my main league, which I've talked to you about for many years, it's 34 years now. It started, or 35 years. It started in 1989 when I was at USC Law School. And it was a bunch of guys that I was in class with, and then it morphed into a league with my first law firm. And so it's essentially the same crew. We're all getting up there. Mm-hmm. We all have kids in our 20s to late 20s, early 30s. Yeah. So my son Cole is my partner. Mm-hmm. To date, the team is still called Team Nirvana, which I named in the early 90s.
For the band?
For the band. And it's still called Team Nirvana. And never changed it.
You're frozen in time, Doug Emhoff.
Frozen in time, man.
Frozen in time.
It's like my musical taste. And he has come on as such a strong co-owner. He started probably when he was in high school, but he's so good and smart. So we made it to the finals this year. It was a heartbreaker. We lost in the finals because I think it was that Saturday night game where Dax Shepard and Lamb had like 5,000 points.
So you went against CeeDee Lamb in your final.
And Dak. They had the combo. So I think we were done.
Dude.
We were just smoked Saturday night. So
yeah.
it was,
I went against CeeDee Lamb in my final as well. I went against David Njoku on that Thursday night. Yeah. He had like 100 yards against the Jets in the first quarter. Then CeeDee Lamb had 200 yards against the Lions by halftime. I was finished.
We had a decent,
such a depressing
we actually
thing.
had a decent final, but they had over 200 points.
Okay.
So there is a White House League. So that's my main league. So the White House League, we started, will be year 3. Mm-hmm. And it's great because it's from the second gentleman of the United States to comms people to younger staffers. Mm-hmm. And what's great is the S talking happens, so they don't care who I am and I don't care who they are, so there's a lot of smack going on, and I took you down, second gentleman.
I love that.
Oh yeah. And now when I made the playoffs both years, decent teams, but these are people who are really into it, so this is a tough league to do well, but I did make the playoffs both times.
I got to tell you, man, and I think it gives exactly who you are, because we all have multiple leagues here. Chris is in a league. Do you want to tell the second gentleman about your league, Chris, real quick?
Sure.
Because I think there may be some legislation that may need to be placed in, or maybe an executive order that you can put in to make this illegal. Sure. But go ahead, Chris.
So we do a live draft every year in the city of the team that wins the Super Bowl. So we're going to Kansas City again this year. There are no time limits. So we all go to someone's house or hotel room, what have you, and we just draft. So usually it's about 8 to 9 hours, our draft.
Whoa, no time limit.
No time limit. It's not my decision.
Go ahead and tell. Go ahead and tell him. Go ahead and tell him what happened one year.
One year, someone took 28 minutes to take Brian Hartline in the 8th round.
Now, that's fighting words, don't you think? When you're involved in a fantasy, Doug.
So that I think I can do like a second gentleman executive order. I'm going to check with the team on fantasy related.
We'll work on the language.
Issues.
We can work on the language.
I beg of you.
Do it in time for the draft.
Please do it,
man. Because we've gone to the 1 minute. And you just move on. And
if it gets to like 50 seconds, you're giving people crap.
You have to ask
let's
the commissioner.
Go.
You have to make a dispo to the commissioner to pause on, and so you have to be doing this stuff quick. And our commissioner,
there's a pause. Like someone,
he has
under
to decide.
what circumstances is there a pause?
Commissioner's discretion.
Do it have to be a national emergency?
It has to be
as far as I'm concerned.
Something that, but normally if you don't, then it just auto picks. So it's a pretty egregious.
But I just love the fact that we're all in multiple leagues and we all rank them about the one that you really want to win. And I think it speaks to you and who you are, that the one that you want to win isn't the White House League.
That's a side gig. That is more like when I'm with my normal league, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm winning by 20 in the White House League, but whatever. We need to win this one. And I only won it once. So this is in 34 years. I won in the year 2000 when Denver picked up Mike Anderson, the running back. He had the greatest one off year, and I rode that to my one and only. So my name's on the trophy, and it's the same trophy. It's almost starting to look like the Stanley Cup. It's got 34 years of this, and the winner of the prior year has to get it engraved. And I promised them in the finals, I said, if the other team tanks, we will host this celebration at the White House this fall. That was not enough to get them to tank, and they smoked us. So there you go.
See, there are standards even when you try to influence the situation.
Doesn't matter. Fantasy winning that trophy overrode having a party and the draft at the White House.
Could you imagine a draft at the White House? By the way, you couldn't have a draft at the White House.
Yeah, that's.
There would not be. You wouldn't pass muster. They would not let you through the doors.
No time limits at the White House.
No time. There are time limits at the White House, sir. There are term limits at the White House. So there's going to be time limits. Get out of here.
Finish our draft in 4 years. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Doug Emhoff here on the Rich Eisen Show. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.